Welcome to the Swift Half, your weekly session of chat from the UKOCR and adventure running scene. Each week, pub landlord Alan and our favourite regular Ian discuss races, runners and anything else that comes to mind. So pull up a pew, pour yourself a drink and join us for the Swift Half.
Ian, my friend, it's that time of the week. It's the Swift Half time. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome, listeners, to the favourite thing about your Friday, or your Saturday, or your Sunday.
Or your Thursday if you're a Patreon.
Or your Thursday if you're a Patreon. Or if Alan's been really, really good, your late Wednesday evening. I wonder if anyone listens.
We did. We got one listen last Wednesday, yeah. Because that was the first time we'd ever put it out on a Wednesday. We did get one listen last Wednesday. I don't know who it was. Reach out to me. Tell me who you are.
It was probably you testing it.
Oh, I wonder if it was actually, because I do have to test it, don't I? I wonder if I got the one click.
I've no idea, but yeah, if anyone's listening to this, either late Wednesday, so you're not going to have time to edit that out. Late Wednesday or early Thursday, drop us a line in the Patreon group to let us know. And I do feel guilty though, Alan, because people have got used to listening to this on a Friday.
Yeah. And
doing this as a bonus for Patreon members, putting it out early, you're messing with people's lives. You know, I know it's first world problems, but we know Will Chung listens to us on a Friday, and he's usually always been first.
Yeah.
And now he's not.
It's Wendy Brothers always, this is why Wendy Brothers has joined our Patreon, because she's told me, because she has a long drive home on a Thursday evening. So, and she's always had to listen to the Swift Half like 6 days later. But now, becoming a patron, she gets to listen to it the day before everyone else does.
Oh, well, hi, Wendy. Safe drive back, please. Use your indicator and all that. You know, so safe drive home. So does that mean we get no clicks a week after now?
Yes, so that Thursday the week after. We don't get a click on that.
Oh, well.
I guess that's the way it goes. I do know that some people listen to it a long time. Who was it?
Our good friend Mr. Rigby listens
Mr.
to
Rigby,
Yeah, Mr. Rigby and Sophia, they do reach out and they do binge listen. So they'll stack up a few episodes and listen to them back to back to back.
I couldn't do that with a news episode because I'd be thinking I missed all the news.
Yeah, it's a good job we don't do any real news, isn't it?
Yeah. We have got news though. But before we do that, let's talk about what are you drinking tonight?
I'm not feeling clever today, and that's not just me being my usual self of self-deprecating. I literally am not feeling that well. Something's going wrong. So I've got a Brewdog, but it's a Brewdog pop soda. I've got jagged grapefruit. And I've just realised, Alan, every single week I hold the can up to the camera so you can look, and no one ever sees it. So they probably think me pausing is just me trying to read or something like that. But it's literally so I can hold it up to Alan for his either approval or disapproval. But
yeah,
anyway,
I like the can. The can looks quite good.
Yeah, I think they work out at, it's about £3 for 4 at Tesco. So based on inflation, not terrible actually when you think. It's quite a nice pot, because even Coke now is what, 60p, 75p for a can?
Oh, I buy Roller Cola. So I'm a Roller Cola fan. Which is actually what I'm drinking tonight, cola.
Are you also not feeling great?
No, I'm cutting down on my alcohol intake. I've decided that, this is going to sound really bad, but just lately, I've sort of been coming home from work and I've been opening a can. Not too much, but I've been having a can of beer probably every night with my tea. And I've decided now that I can't keep on doing that. That's just no good for me. So I'm going to stop having a drink between Monday and Friday. So for the next couple of months, you might just see me on Roller Cola on Wednesday nights.
Have we just ruined the show? Are we going to have to record on a Saturday?
We're going to probably record a weekend. I might go and buy some alcohol free just for our podcasting. But yeah, I'm just trying to cut down. I'm wanting to. I've just read about alcohol just slowing your recovery and your things like that from running, and because I've got this 60 mile in 5 weeks and I'm coming back from an injury, I'm just trying to speed up my recovery as quick as I can.
Well, you need to speed up quickly, because I know some listeners, for example, Kieran, only listens to the first 5 minutes to find out what we've been drinking. And if you just spoiled it that we're going to be drinking nothing but I'm not quite sure that I'm the right person to hold up the alcohol consumption part of this show.
No, you're not. I need to hold up the alcohol, but we'll go alcohol free. So I'm going to try and buy some really weird alcohol free drinks, I think, and see what we can get.
Okay, yeah, let's see what you can get. And in the meantime, if there's any guests out there who want to actually come in and drink, let us know. We might have you on a future episode to get the alcohol content. I'll be back on Summit next week. It was just tonight. I'll be honest, even an AF I don't think would make me feel right. So yeah,
just straight up pop tonight. We're pop people tonight.
We are. But speaking of not feeling too well, there's probably some people, as we're recording this, over in America who are feeling even worse.
There's definitely going to be some people over in America feeling worse. But I'm talking about this, though. I've got to admit, Matt B. Davis got me hook, line, and sinker today on this. We are talking about the Barclay Marathons.
Yeah, well, Matt put out a contender list, didn't he?
Yes. And he put on headlines, Goggins drops out, and I looked at the content. I'm thinking, well, I didn't see him the first time, but I see the list that Matt published is definitely in there, and I'm thinking so I said to you, David Goggins has dropped out on first lap, and you were like, no, he didn't. He wasn't even there. Matt B. Davis, hook, line, and sinker.
It was funny, though. Some of the names he put on was thankfully by the time this goes out, it'll be Friday, and like I say, some patrons will listen to it early, but I do think some people are still believing him at this moment in time and wondering how Mo Farah's getting on.
Yeah, I did look at that one and I was thinking, I thought if there is somebody called Mo Farah running, it's not the Mo Farah. But I was looking and thinking, well, I don't even know any athletes called Mo Farah.
Except the Mo Farah.
Except the Mo Farah, yeah.
That is such a great idea, Alan. If I change my name to Cal Saab, do you reckon I could just walk in?
Just walk in? What if someone's ever done that, change the name? It's really weird because when I entered races years ago, I used to always put Muddy Duck, and I still do sometimes. And it's fun when especially go to Tough Mudder and they want your ID, and my ID doesn't have Muddy Duck on it. I know Dan Lister came to my rescue once and went, yeah, that's him. That's Muddy Duck.
That's good. That's yeah. I can say sometimes it frustrates me because I do try to cheer you on virtually when you're doing these crazy things. I can't find you in the list, and it's taken me a while to look under M just in case.
Yeah, that's it. I just mix it up.
But you've got me thinking there. Do you reckon on a race like this, which it is invite only, do you reckon sometimes someone applies? And not deliberately, but they just happen to share their name with someone else. And they get accepted because people think it's that person.
I'd like to think they did the due diligence and made sure it wasn't. I'm sure Laz has actually got personal telephone numbers and emails of some of the greatest ultra runners in the world. And he knows exactly who they are. If someone enters and the username Nikki Spinks, I'm pretty certain he'll ring her up and say, is this you, Nikki?
And then some Yorkshire bloke goes, yeah,
it's me.
Yeah, that's me, Mr. Spinks.
I put a Yorkshire accent on that. What's that about? I tried to put a Yorkshire accent on and I'm from Yorkshire.
Oh dear, that's just terrible. But speaking of accents, Scott McFane Knowles has a fantastic accent. Quick plug for the weekly show with Scott on this week because he does have a great accent. Should we, Alan? I do hate covering the Barclays because this happened last year, and this time we can't do what I think we did last year, which was you recorded a bit and just added it after it ended. Should we update viewers and listeners on what's currently happening at this moment in time, which will be out of date by the time you listen?
Yeah. So there are currently 15 people on lap
14, I think.
14 on loop 3, not lap, on loop 3, which is the fun run loop.
Yes. So anyone who finishes that will be running with fun. Let me have a look at what's it called? The Yeah, I've got the names of people who are currently there, Alan.
So have I. Go on, you're going to go with them.
Yeah, I'll go John Kelly from USA. We've got Albert Casas from Spain. We've got Damien Hall from England. You were telling me that he's trying to keep up with John Kelly and Albert, I believe.
Yeah, so from my understanding, because this is Damien's first ever Barclays, is a virgin. So he doesn't know. I've read about him, and he's done a lot of navigation stuff recently. But everyone says the Barclays is not just about running. You could be the greatest runner in the world. You've got to be able to navigate. So a lot of the virgins, the first timers out there, they actually seek out the veterans. And it looks like that Damien's, from the times that I'm seeing on the laps, is going out with John Kelly and Albert Casas. So,
which, if you're going to go out with anyone, not a bad, not a bad idea, is it?
It's not, but you've got to have some kahunas to actually turn around and say, I'm going to keep up with John Kelly and Albert. You know what I mean? You've got to be at your peak. I know he's just come back from winning the Spine race as well, didn't he? So that was about 3 weeks ago. So he's probably still in recovery mode as well.
He probably is. And also with them in the first loop, you also had Christopher Noroju from Switzerland. Why did I read these out? But anyway, it looks like on loop 2, he finished a little bit after them, but he finished bang on with them. Then you've got another group, haven't you, which is Jared Campbell, who I'm right in thinking Jared's the only person to win it, to complete it 3 times.
I think he is, yeah, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, and John Kelly was the last winner in 2017.
2017, no one's completed it since then.
Yep. So yeah, I've got the results. So Jared did it in 2012, 2014, and 2016. So, and Jared was actually, do you remember the Netflix series?
Yeah, he has a big beard, doesn't he?
I think so. He's the middle one. So he's the one who finished shortly after Brett, who I guess won it in record time. But yeah, Jared was the middle one, and then you had John, who was the guy who fell asleep under the prison.
Yeah, he did about 200 meters up, didn't he? And then he just fell asleep at the side of the road.
Which, again, if you're gonna go anywhere, so Jared is leading another group, which also includes Carol Saab and Joe McConaughey. Carol from Belgium, Joe from Washington. Then the one of even more interest to us is we have another group, which is Aurelien Sanchez and Jasmine Paris.
Jasmine Paris from Scotland.
From Scotland, although this sheet says she's from England. I hope she doesn't see this. This guy's going to get in real trouble.
She's Scottish.
Yeah, she's Scottish. And yeah, they
record holder for Spine as well. She's the record holder for the Spine.
She is, isn't she?
Yes.
So she is. She and Aurelien finished Loop 2 in 21:13, which is still reasonable if you're trying to, because she's done a fun run before.
Yeah.
She's here to try and complete, so they've still got some time. After that, you have got Pavel Polonchi from Chechnya, which is strange. I know it's Czech Republic, but I do know it's no Chechnya.
Yeah.
Finishing Loop 2 but dropping out was Guillaume Calmetes from France. He dropped out in Loop 3. And then after that, we got Tomokazu from Ihara from Japan, Aaron Bradner from Virginia, USA, Johan Steen from Sweden, how do you say it? Peter Chadovich from Washington, and Nicodemus De La Russa from Arizona. With the exception of perhaps Tomokazu and maybe Aaron, I think the rest are kind of timed out now for the race, so they're aiming for a fun run, because the rest were 26 minutes. So I think that times you out, doesn't it?
That times you out, yeah. So I think Nikki Sinks came in about an hour after the timeout. So
she did indeed. So we also had Nikki and Tom, who have no timed out, and we had how do you pronounce the name? I want to say Ian Keith from Ireland, but I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it.
I thought it's Ian O'Keefe.
Ian O'Keefe, Ireland, and Billy Reid as well, and Katie Wright as well from from the UK. We had quite a few UK people this time.
Yeah, I tried to look up Katie Wright, and it's not someone that I know of or that I follow. So I now do follow her.
Well, it's a common name, isn't it? But yeah, so as it stands, as we're recording this, I would say maybe about 10 people still have a realistic shot of finishing, which is unheard of.
Yeah, I mean the weather's playing into their hands a little bit at this moment in time. I think it dropped from what I watch Twitter. Keith Dunn, that's where I get a lot of my information from. And he's been saying that the night before the race there were some flurries of snow, but it never settled. But then since then it's been quite mild for this time of year up there. So the weather's playing into their hands a little bit and making it just that little bit easier. I guess if the weather turns, that's when we're going to see them drop like flies.
I can imagine. It's usually the rain that gets them, isn't it? It's the rain and the mist and just being damp.
Yeah.
But it's quite interesting. This does seem like an all-star cast, to be fair, with all due respect to anyone who's completed previously. But it just looks like Laz has put together some of the most accomplished ultra runners.
Without a doubt. I mean, I was reading about Damon Hall, and I don't know if you know about him, but he's trying to cut down on his carbon footprint. So everywhere he goes now, he tends to take the least way to get their carbon footprint, and he's refused to fly for several years now. But he's got a bucket list of events, and he'd never ever been to Barclays, and it's one of those that he's decided that if he's going to fly, it's going to be once a year, and this year it's going to be to the Barclays.
I really was hoping you were going to say he'd cycled or something, or caught a boat over.
I don't think it's that thing. I was reading that apparently us as a normal average person, we waste 12, or we put out 12 tons of CO2 a year, and he's down to 7 tons of CO2 a year. That's a massive reduction.
That is wow. That's just by making little changes.
Yeah, by not jumping in the car to travel as often, using public transport. So when he's gone over to Europe, he's used trains as opposed to using his car. He's used trains and gone with people and that. So fair play to him.
No, absolutely fair play. And we just recorded, like you say, about 15 minutes of Barclay, which will be out of date by the time this comes out. But people in the future listening to this on the Friday, okay, Alan, if we record 2 different versions now.
Oh, yeah, we could edit it back in.
So congratulations to everyone who finished the Barclays Marathon. Commiserations to the fact that no one finished it this year. And just edit that, yeah?
Just edit one of those 2 out. I hope someone does finish it.
Yeah, I do. And it's almost one of them, if not this year, when? Because as you say, it's good conditions and all that. So fingers crossed. We might even have a record number of finishers. You never know.
Oh, it'd be good if we got several finishers. That would be really good.
Yeah. And there's another record that I hope gets broken, but I'm not jinxing it. So we can talk about that next week if it gets broken, okay?
Yes, keep that in yourself. Keep that.
Yeah, people can guess.
You're listening to the 24,601st most popular podcast for people who also listen to musical adaptations of 19th century French Romanticism.
I know Barclays is kind of like world renowned, and people have tried to set up a UK version of Barclays, probably because we watched a Netflix series and thought, oh, this is easy. I can do one of these. And we've never really achieved it. I think someone tried to do one in Wales one time, maybe one Yorkshire, but it's never really caught on. But there is an event coming up which may be a UK equivalent.
Well, it's got the chances. It's different. It's crazy. It's mental. Yeah, I guess it's. I'm not going to say it's the equivalent, but it's on that parallel. Yeah, that parallel universe. The tunnel race. Tunnel ultra.
I think we might have talked about this on a previous episode, but we're going to touch on it again because it's coming up on 31st of March. For those of you who didn't listen to the episode where we discussed it, what is it? Is it a mile-long tunnel?
a 1 mile tunnel, yeah. And you're doing shuttle runs. Fans doing 1 mile shuttle runs. That's crazy.
It is, but there's little things, isn't there, about during the night they turn the lights off.
Yes, the lights go off.
And there's also violin music in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. There is no gazebo. There's none of that. It's literally outside. Is a table that you run to the other end, check in, run back, go to the table, check in, run back, and that's all you do. It's very minimalistic. There's nothing fancy about it. It's just hardcore running.
And I bet you the carbon footprint of this is very low.
It's going to be virtually zero, isn't it? I mean, I don't know what they've got. I don't even know if they give medals away or anything like that. It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't. If they didn't give anything away, it was just literally you've just got to run.
Yeah, and say 200 miles over 50 hours, I think. Have I got
50
that right?
hours, yeah. You get 50 hours to do it in.
And you're going constantly. And I guess unlike the Barclays, which you do get daylight, even during the daylight hours, you're not going to get that much light.
You're not going to get none, are you? Because you're in only when you come out at one end are you going to get the daylight.
Yeah, it's one of their mental challenges. There have been finishers, so it doesn't take people out in the same degree that Barclays does, but it also has a very high DNF rate, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think there's about 13 or 14 finished it in last few years since it's been running. It's just one of them races that, like the Barclays, it's an enigma, and there's always going to be races that pop up like this every now and then that are something different, and they're going to give people the imagination of it out there. I hope it keeps going. It's something to aim for. It's one of them. It's a bucket list event, isn't it? It's if you're into running, it's something. Can I go out and can I run 4 miles every hour?
Well, yeah, because that's what it breaks down to, doesn't it? That it's 4 miles every hour, which is only there and back twice.
There and back twice. Yeah. Sounds easy, Ian.
It really does.
When are we signing up for it? When are we signing up for it?
Well, you need to have done 100 miles in a day, and I think that's running. If it was a drive, I could just about do that. But yeah, I don't think I've ever done 100 miler. But it's funny, isn't it, Alan? Because a mile doesn't sound that far. Because we both run. We know how far a mile is. And yeah, it's probably been a long time since... I know you're recovering from an injury, but even so, you went out the other day and did 3 miles.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sound that far. I bet you it feels it in a tunnel.
I think it would. Just the not seeing nothing. It's going to play in your mind. It's going to be mental because you're going to be seeing walls. That's all you're going to be seeing. There's nothing while you're running for 50 hours, just walls. That's going to...
Yeah, you can't have earphones in either because it's still a public path.
Yeah. I love the idea of it. I don't think it's for me. Although I would like to go once and have a go. Maybe not. I don't think I'd get 200 miles, but I'd like to go and see how far I could get before tapping out.
Well, we could just go down to this tunnel one time and do it once.
Just I've run the tunnel race once.
But yeah, if anyone who's listening ever does this, by the way, because I know we've got a fair few ultra runners who listen, let us know. You'd love to speak to them after.
Oh, I would love to chat to somebody who's done something like this. Reach out to me, definitely. If any of our listeners know anyone who's done it, put me in touch. Even if I can go chat to them for 30 minutes, it'd be a great chat to understand everything you go through to do this.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. So what's next on the notes, Alan?
Oh, now you're throwing me. Because I haven't even got it. I have got the notes up. I'm dreaming of that. We missed a race out that happened this weekend, Ian.
Well, you mean we missed previewing a race, yeah?
Yeah, well, that's the same. Isn't that the same thing?
Yeah, it is. It is.
And the thing that annoyed me in it is actually I had a ticket for this race.
You actually bought a ticket for this race?
Yeah, a little while ago, I did buy a ticket for this race, and I'd actually forgot about it. I guess it didn't help that I was injured, but it flashed up on my phone on Friday night. So I've got them in my phone, and I've got a lot alerts to let me know when there's an event coming up. So it flashes on a Friday night when there's a race on a Saturday, just so I've got that enough time just to get ready and then tell Wendy that tomorrow I'm running, love. So yeah, there was a race. Purely athletes. It's called the Normanby Hall Mud Run, just outside Scunthorpe. It's one of these charity runs. So attracted some good people. Some names on there that I know, local to me: Neil Handley, Zoe Attenborough, and Zoe Attenborough was actually the first female. So well done to her. And I'll go through the winners. The winners in the men's race were Stephen Geraghty, Andrew Holbrook, and Ryan Morris. And in the females, we had Zoe Attenborough, like I say, Angela Bullingham, and I now need to. Oh no, yeah, Zoe Attenborough, Angela Bullingham, and I need to find the third one because they don't filter it into
male and
female, yeah. And Hayley Drury.
Well done. Well done all. There is someone, Alan, who you didn't mention, who didn't forget about the race. Our good friend Michelle Carney.
Did Michelle go?
Michelle did, and she sent me a review.
Oh, go on. Read it out to me. Tell me what she thought about it.
This is what you missed. So it was an awesome, fun event over a horse cross-country course. Well organised and lots of encouraging marshals. Really good value for money, only 23 quid for 10k, including booking fee, medal, and Alan, you're going to be sick, and cake.
I know there was cake, yeah.
It's apparently mainly wooden jumps to climb over with a few runs through water and the odd cargo net. So it's a basic race, but for 23 quid with cake, come on. I know not in Yorkshire because we'd have a revolution for this, but in Manchester, you might not get much change out of 23 quid if you buy a cake. So getting cake, alone. But yeah, they had 2 waves at 10 a.m., 12 noon, so you could double run it if you wanted to.
Yeah, and you could do. I think you double run it for the same price, but there's no extra cost.
Yeah, I think they just let you go again. So it does sound, and these are the events we need to support more of.
Yeah, I think this is in about its 5th year. I learnt about it. So I think it started just before COVID. I think there was 1, maybe 2 before COVID, and I heard about it, and I was going to do one in COVID, and obviously they all got cancelled. Then they did one last year, and then I signed up for it. I literally signed up for it as soon as it became available. But unfortunately, injuries and me forgetting about it, because I had booked to work, so I'd not even looked. But yeah, me forgetting about it. I missed it. I'm gutted I missed it, if I'm honest.
Oh, yeah, well, there's only one thing to do, Alan.
Book it for next year.
Book it for next year, and then we can have this same conversation next year. I'm sure Shell will send us a review again if we ask her nicely.
There's quite a lot of talking about races, ones that we're not going to miss, and we'll jump onto them now. I know we've got on his list, but coming up on this next week, not this next weekend, as this has been recorded, but the weekend after, is it a case of racing's back again?
It definitely is a case of racing back. Did you count them? How many races are going on the weekend of the 25th and 26th of March?
1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 races: Tartan Warrior, Adrenaline Shock, Grim Challenge, Muddy Mayhem, and the General. 5 races in one weekend. 5 OCR style races in one weekend.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Well, this early in the year, it's absolutely massive.
Did you mention it's also, at Tartan Warrior, as well as having Tartan Warrior, you also have the 100-meter national trials and the 3K age group national trials there as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, Tartan Warrior is going to be big. And that's why we've got Who's Scott coming out on Monday. So, big quick plug for them. I know you usually ask me later on, but Who's Scott coming out on Monday to talk about Tartan Warrior. I mean, it's a big race. It's the first time Gavin's put something on this big up there. There's a lot of people going in terms of top level athletes are going up there.
Yeah, it looks fun to. I can't wait to see what Gavin does because he's given you some sneak peeks.
Yes, we've had a few sneak peeks on the podcast. We spoke to him about a month ago now, I think, wasn't it? We spoke to him, and he's on Who's Scott as well. So he's one of the co-hosts of Who's Scott. So he's going to be shouting about it on Monday. I've actually got the recording, but I haven't listened to it yet. So
we can't spoil anything now, no?
No spoiler alerts, Ian. I've got no spoiler alerts.
Oh, well. Well, I guess we just need to listen on Monday.
Yeah. I've got to listen beforehand, but yeah, you'll have to wait till Monday.
Oh, that's not fair. Anyway, you've got a note on here. True Sapien app. Help me out because they're a clothing business.
Yeah, you don't know this. So you know how I like True Sapien clothing, and a lot of our listeners like True Sapien clothing. they have launched an app. This has been in development for about a year and a half. So Stephen, who I know who owns them, he's been developing this for about a year and a half now. I had a quick chat with him last night. And it's been developed for that long, so it's not been right. Every time he's wanted to add to it and add to it and add to it. So this is designed. True Sapiens is not just a brand; it's a community as well. So the app's based around that community. So it's a training platform where people encourage each other to train and work out. It has some amazing things on there. I was quickly looking at some of the things last night while we were talking. It talks about mindsets, the ethos of True Sapienism, which is all about natural training and that. Also, it has a running club, but it has some amazing partners on there as well. And I'm pleased that UKOCR has one as well. So UKOCR has a partner on there.
Are we down on the app?
We're down on the app, yeah. In
awesome.
their partner list. Yeah, we are down in the app on their partners list. And Overload is as well, by the way. And we've been on it for quite a long time. So, but yeah, it offers a lot of discounts. So when you're a member and you pay for the there's a free one on there. So you go onto any of your apps. So if you're on Android, whatever Android is it Android Play if you're on Android? I don't do Android.
I think so, yeah.
And on Apple, it's the Apple apps. And just look for True Sapien. There's a free one, so you get a lot of stuff on the free one, and then there's a paid version, which I think is about £4.50 a month, something like that. But it's out there for people who want a bit of community, but want to stay off Facebook, but want to talk to people that are in the same mindset and that. And yeah, keep an eye out. We're going to be talking to them a little bit more in coming months and finding more out about it. And yeah,
is there a charge for it?
So it's free for one of them. So it's free for one, or you can pay the $4.50 a month for the premium package.
Okay, so I'm presuming the premium one has maybe more training stuff, that kind of thing.
That's it, yeah. So
well, that's great news, happy news. Alan, can I bring you down a little bit because I know you're really excited about this. I've just had something flash up as a memory, and today, the 15th of March, 3 years ago. Do you remember what you're doing?
15th of March, 3 years ago. I don't know. What was I doing 15th of March?
I don't know what you were doing, but I was getting a text message from the, I'll read out the name of the race, at 6 a.m. from the Wilmslaw Running Festival, saying it will not be taking place because due to coronavirus, but will be rescheduled.
Was it 3 years ago to the date that this was?
3 years ago, everyone, we hadn't gone in lockdown yet, but on the 15th, events started to be cancelled.
Yeah, I think we went in lockdown on the 23rd, I think it was, if I remember rightly. 23rd of March.
I think it was. And yeah, this was a week before. The Saturday, before the Saturday, we picked up our little, bib numbers, and we'd gone and done a yoga class, would you believe, with them. And yeah, so the Wilmslaw Running Festival was cancelled. I can't even remember whether I was going to do a 10K or a half that particular day, but whatever it was cancelled.
I think I know. In fact, I don't think I know. The week before COVID, I was up on Langsett doing a night run in the snow,
which was probably quite safe.
Which was probably quite much safer than walking around the town or anything like that.
Absolutely. And you know what, Alan? I don't think I've been as fit and healthy as I was before this particular race. Now I'd celebrate a race being cancelled.
Have you struggled to get back to fitness since COVID? I know I've struggled.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, I jest there, but I think it was a half I was meant to be doing, because I'm fairly sure I was meant to be doing a marathon, Manchester Marathon. I was meant to be doing Manchester Marathon in 2020. So this was my half to get me ready for it.
I trained more in lockdown, ran more in lockdown, cycled more in lockdown, did much more exercise in lockdown, but I don't feel I was anywhere near half as fit coming out of it as I was going into it.
No, I just say I was in marathon training, and even now, I don't think I could run a 10K now unless I go really, really slow. I don't think I could do a 10K without stopping now.
Wow. I've encouraged someone at work to do a 10K today. Did you
let me guess? Is it someone who from your work, and it was like, I don't want you anymore, go 6 miles away?
No, one of my work colleagues. It's I say young girl. She's not a young girl. She's she's middle-aged, and she's been running on a treadmill. She's been doing 2Ks on a treadmill, and she was saying, how can she run further? And I said, well, the only way really to run further is to go and sign up for a race and do a race. So she went, what race shall I sign up for? So we found a 10K race, just a club race, just a local race in Wombwell, and she signed up for Wombwell 10. So she's now got to train for a 10K race.
Now you mention it, I miss club races. I haven't done a club race. I've done races since the pandemic, but I haven't done one of them pay a fiver, just run. You may or may not get something at the end. I've not done one.
Yeah. Oh, they're some of the best races, them club races, aren't they? When there's one near us called the Trunch, which starts next week actually. And it's an evening race, and it goes up a super big hill, and that I think it's about 5 miles, but it gets about 300 people turn up to it.
Yeah, I think I'd be anxious at that, if I'm honest. Well, that's something else. I've got proper anxious recently.
With crowds, or
yeah, it's weird. I can't even explain it. With exercise, I joined a new gym. I'm a member of one near me, but it's relatively cheap. So I joined one with a friend of mine as well, which has classes on, because I've always liked classes. And it has Pilates class. And you remember, I like my Pilates, I like my yoga, not particularly good at either, but I think they do help me, particularly with running. I'd signed up for this Pilates class 3 times in a row and kept cancelling.
Oh, wow.
And I finally went this Monday, and I was still anxious when I was there. It was a weird... It's a small gym, so there's only 8 in the class.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is I knew, one, it's a lot of new people, and I also knew there was a good chance that it would be probably me and another guy, or just me on my own with nothing but female people taking part. And that's what came to pass. It was just me. I did feel anxious, which is silly. It sounds silly, isn't it? But it's just...
But
weird.
We do get anxious over stuff. I get butterflies about many things. You know what I mean? And it's... I get it. I get that anxious feeling. I think everyone does. We just don't... I think as men, we don't talk about it enough.
No. And oddly, part of the anxiety, Alan, was because I was worried about what other people would think. And I probably should... I was worried that people would be, oh, well, why is the man in a Pilates class?
Yeah. And I get that. Because it isn't something that you see men do.
Well,
in America, you do. In America, it's very common to see a man in spin bike and Pilates and calisthenics and everything else. But in the UK, if you're a man and you go to a gym, you're expected to pump weights.
Yeah, and that never works out well for me. But yeah, it's weird. And more men should. So men who are listening to this, go on Google, go on YouTube, do a Pilates class. You'll thank me. It is really, really good for you because it's all about your core. And honestly, guys, we are terrible with our core. We really are.
Yeah. I am at the moment. Yeah. This is why I'm stopping on the drink.
Well, it's not just the beer go. It's the fact that I bet you most men's core regime concerns of 50 sit-ups and maybe a plank.
That's for years. That's what my core did consist of. I would do every night before I went to bed and every morning when I got up, it was 50 sit-ups, 50 press-ups every night, as well as the running and other things. But I did such a, I won't say a 6-pack, but I did feel that my core was really, really strong. And since I've stopped doing that, and I actually stopped doing this in lockdown. This is one of the things I stopped doing in lockdown, and I've never really got back into it anymore. I need to start getting back into it.
You do that and yoga.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of which, sorry, we've gone right off topic here because I keep thinking of things. This today I saw that. Have you ever heard Yoga with Cassandra?
Yes, I have heard of it.
Yeah, Cassandra. She was someone who I found in lockdown. Good yoga teacher. It's either her or Adrian. People know either one or the other. She is doing a 30 days of yoga from the 1st of April.
Oh, shall we sign up for it? Shall we do it?
Shall we do it?
Of yoga. Is it online?
It's online. It's on YouTube. It's 10 minutes a day. And yeah, she'll basically, I think during lockdown, she did a morning yoga and then later on she did evening. This one, I'm not quite sure what it's going to entail, but yeah, let's sign up for it. And tell you what, listeners, anyone else who wants to sign up, will please sign up too.
Yeah. And we'll have a little thing on the social media every day. Post your picture of yogas.
Exactly. Shall we bob it in the pub?
Let's pop it in the pub, yeah.
There we go. We'll pop it in the pub. Right, shall we get back on track? Sorry about that thing. But hopefully that was relatively entertaining. What have we got next, Alan?
Let's go to a bit of Hyrox news, because a bit of Hyroxy stuff's come out this week.
Right, okay. Hyrox have announced their November London dates, which are the 24th and the 26th of November.
Best kept secret in Hyrox.
Yes, no one guessed this at all, did they?
Even people who don't do Hyrox never guessed it either, or maybe they did.
Yeah, I think this is the first time no one on a QT told me what it was. But I think that's just because everyone knew what it was. Everyone could guess. It was either going to be London in November or a massive shock of them doing something else. So, but sometimes, Alan, even if you see something coming, you're still happy with it.
Yeah. People who over the moon with it, I've seen nothing but praise about it. So everyone's good about it.
No, exactly. And the key thing here, Alan, is it's the 25th and 26th. So we're doing another 2-day event.
Do you think it's going to be sold out within days?
I don't want to say days, but I do think. Well, I'm terrible at this. Our good friend Graham predicted Birmingham would be sold out in a matter of weeks, and it pretty much is. I said it would be a few months, and yeah. So I wouldn't bet against tickets being sold out by the end of April.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very fast. I think London will sell very, very fast.
But having 2 days on Saturday and Sunday might mean we can do more tickets, so it might mean more people can. What's interesting, Alan, we've not announced venue yet as we're recording this.
Do we not think it's going to be? Where was it last time?
Well, it was Excel last time, but this coming April the 30th, it is at the Olympia.
Interesting.
So,
do you think it can be? It seems strange having the same venue twice in a year. I know it's 2 different seasons, but I don't know.
I'm not sure. It would be nice if you could do Excel and Olympia. I'd like that because it'd be two. Because Olympia is West London, Excel's East London. I think that would make far more sense than going to one twice a year.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I'd like to see it go to both.
But well, people who are listening to this as it's released will probably know because tickets go on sale. I want to say Friday. They're going to be launched tomorrow. And they'll then be available to everyone on Friday. We talked about this previously. Gym affiliates get it early.
Yeah. Will in the Hyrox group, will Evie have a code, do you think? I'm so sure.
I don't think any of the codes are currently working next year, which is I kind of disagree with, because you've got these people who have been living, breathing, and Hyrox for quite a while. Yeah. They've helped you get to this stage, and now that they've helped you, you're silently not letting their codes work.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about it, so I'm not sure, but it just seems a bit wrong, and no one's really talked about it too much.
Yeah, if people have helped you walk that journey, then you need to help them back.
Yeah, because they could argue, oh, well, it's going to sell out anyway, but not that many people are going to use them codes, because not many people will know about them codes. But it may, Alan, for example, me and you, we might be able to convince people to go by saying, oh, such a body's got a code.
Yeah. And that, there are people who listen to this and go, I'm not really bothered, it's a bit expensive. Oh, we've got a 10% code. Oh, that actually makes it a little bit more worthwhile.
Yeah, it usually makes it the listed price because it removes the booking fee.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the biggest thing. But I hate booking fees. That's my nightmare to it all. I hate a booking fee.
But yeah,
I don't get why they've got to do it.
Yeah, Hyrox's current, like I say, treatment of the ambassador, I don't know too much about it. All I know is their codes don't appear to be working. Please sort it out, Hyrox. It's just not a good look.
Yeah.
And this isn't being anti-Hyrox. We kick Spartan when we do stuff like this too.
Yeah. We kick everyone when they do stuff like this. Yeah. In the nicest possible way.
But I will give him some flowers. Alan, have you ever heard this phrase, give him flowers?
Is that when someone does something good?
It is, yeah. And I heard it on a podcast and I'm stealing it. But let's give some flowers to Hyrox for their online booking system now allows you to transfer tickets without having to email them.
Oh, that's massive improvement. That last year when I was John trying to transfer tickets, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, it was Charlotte Malone who told us about this and sent me a quick guide to doing it, which I'm not going to read it all out on here because it's not really complicated. It's just you go to what's it called? Beg your pardon. You go to Hyrox account. You locate your actual account. You know how you can sign in.
Yeah.
And then you find your tickets, and then you change the information of your athlete, and it's as simple as that. There's a little bit more to it, but it's as simple as that. So it doesn't work for doubles. It only works for singles. But thank you to Char Malone for sharing the love and making us aware.
I like it, Ian.
And well done to Hyrox too.
Yeah, I like that. Well done, Hyrox. They are making. They're still working. We forget that they're still a relatively new company, Ian. You know, they've still got teething problems. They're still working through things. Maybe not the event, the actual race. You know, everyone loves it. Everyone thinks it's perfect. But they still have teething problems. They're still trying to work it. They're still trying to fine tune everything. And this is just another example of that fine tuning. They've been notified that this doesn't work or it's creating bigger problems for them. I guess as they've got bigger, the emails that are coming in to change names has got so big. They've had to look at how can we reduce that amount of emails and make it easier for everyone. So was there a fee? Did she mention if there was a fee?
Oh, I think there is the standard fee of 15 quid to change it.
Okay. Yeah.
Which, like I say, I don't quite know. When it comes to fees, I can appreciate there being an admin fee, but eventually, because you've got to set this up, you've got to pay people to attend to it. But you just start thinking, depending on how many times this happens, at what point does it be a covering cost? At what point does it become a profit centre? I'm not sure.
If it's £15 and you're doing via email, I get it. If you're doing it on a system, I don't see where you get £15 administration fee from.
No, maybe a tenner, maybe a fiver.
Yeah. It was what was that race that cancelled and charged a £30? If you wanted a refund, you wanted a £30 admin fee to process your refund. Was it X Runner?
It was something like that. That was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. But yeah, with this, I understand needing a fee to pay someone to set up the system and also to. But I'd like to see, and Hyrox, I don't know if you listen to this thing, I'd like to see that gradually reduce.
Yeah, to a realistic amount, £5 or £10. If £5 would be ideal. It's numbers. It's just number crunching.
Yeah, it's talking. Reduce it to how much it costs for a booking fee.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
You're listening to the 62nd most popular podcast for people who still think that a serving hatch is the height of sophistication.
So that's the final thing, Alan. I'm not going to dwell too much on this. We might pick it up on a future episode. But the USA gyms, so we've got gym affiliates. This was on, I saw it, I think Matt has a USA-aimed Hyrox and Deca group. I know it's worldwide, but it's more aimed at USA people with some UK people. But USA gyms are doing their own Hyrox events with a twist.
What's the twist?
Well, they are borrowing, and they're borrowing from Deca. So there's like a Hyrox Strong, which is Hyrox without the running. I've seen one called Hyrox Reloaded, which you do it in reverse order. You've got a Hyrox with half the running and that, but they're hosting it at their gyms.
And a Hyrox cool with this?
I don't know. I've no clue. I've absolutely no clue whether they're happy with this. Because I guess at the end of the day, it's just a workout, but you are a Hyrox affiliate gym, but I'm not sure if they're going to let you put on your own events. I don't know.
No, I'm not in. I see lawsuits. I see potential lawsuits. You're using a brand name. Hyrox is a brand. You use their name and create something else as an event for your own gym, then that's different. But if you turn around and say we're doing a Hyrox workout and it is a Hyrox workout, it's a mimicking Hyrox thing. You're a brand, I can get that, absolutely fine. But you're calling it a Hyrox Strong or it's a Hyrox Reverse or whatever it is. Ooh, I think that's they're on they're not, what's the word? Not quicksand. They're on dodgy ground.
Thin ice, I think you're looking for.
Yeah. They're on thin ice. That's the word. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I say, it's difficult because I don't know how their affiliate program works, but you're probably right because we know in the UK some affiliates have run Hyrox simulations.
Yeah. And
a lot
I can
of
get
time,
the Hyrox simulation. I get that because you're mimicking a Hyrox.
But yeah, this is a proper event where they're hosting free things and doing it as a series.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's interesting because on the other end, there's obviously a desire for these kind of events too. So are they filling a need that Hyrox has no interest in filling?
Yeah, and I get that. I think it's brilliant that they're doing it. You know, we talk about functional fitness. What we've got over here, we've got superhuman games, turf games, Forder's gym. You know, everything's we've got lots of them over here, but none of them are using the word Hyrox in it. And that's the part I'm saying. You create an event and you use another brand's name, and we know America lawsuits are 10 a penny. You know, I've seen Boston Legal and everything else. They throw lawsuits around like no one's business. Dodgy ground.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see this how this develops, because when you think about Decker actually licensed the event to the gym to run the event.
Yeah. So you know this thing that you made me sign up for about 12 months ago, this law thing that you made me sign up because I got a business email address. I'm going to keep my eye on these emails that come through now just to see if Hyrox gets mentioned.
That's a good idea, yeah. Oh, yeah, because we signed up for the Tough Mudder thing, didn't we, when there was a lawsuit ages ago?
Yeah. You made me sign up so we could get the latest info on the Tough Mudder deals.
It was quite a boring one, to be fair.
Yeah. I actually, sometimes when I'm in a really, in one of them moods when you think, what can I do? You know what I mean? I've done everything I need to do, and I want to just cheer myself up. I'll actually look through it and see who's getting sued, and it is quite funny sometimes.
It's good. I should explain, listener, that you have to have a business email address to sign up for these, and Alan obviously owns a business, and he could thus use his email address to sign up. Yeah. So it's good. Speaking of Tough Mudder, in happier news, we're going to have April's Mud in Scotland.
And it's free. Yeah. The disco, the quiz, everything that they're going to be doing, it's free. Got to pay for your own beers. They did this at Yorkshire last year, which was a bit of fun. Not many people turned up to it in Yorkshire, if I'm honest. But it was fun. Sat under the big marquee. Matt Brooks doing a quiz.
I heard he's a good quizmaster.
It was a really good quizmaster. It was a good evening. I enjoyed it.
Which is good. They're the things I remember with Tough Mudder. I think that's unfortunately with COVID and with other things, that was people ask, why do people go back to Tough Mudder? I think camping is a massive part of it.
Yeah. I like camping, but you've got to have the right weather. Yorkshire wasn't the greatest campsite. I've got to tell you, when we went to Yorkshire, he was literally 1.5 miles from the event village. He was 1 mile from the car park, and getting there wasn't so bad on the Saturday morning or the Friday night. But when you were coming back and you were fetching your stuff back to the car, it was churned up. It was like Mud Mile. It was Mud Mile. In fact, Mud Mile wasn't as muddy as that path walking back with all your gear. So yeah. But I do like a good camp.
It is good. Will I do it again anytime soon? I have no idea, because I am becoming softer in my old age. I've always been soft, but I am becoming softer. But if you are listening to this before doing your first Tough Mudder, if you can camp, go and camp. You'll make friends for life.
Without a doubt. Everyone loves. What else have we got on here? You've got Wolf Mudder on here. What's Wolf Mudder?
I was going to say, speaking of friends for life, we got Wolf Mudder, and they advertised on UKOCR a little while ago, and I'll be honest, I need to click on this link, but it is an obstacle race with your dog.
I love this. I think Zeus used to do this at one point. Gavin Levitt, Mark Noble, who had Zeus, they did one of these. Is this an obstacle race, or is it a muddy run, though? Is it a muddy paw run, do you think?
Oh, well, looking at the pictures, okay, so It's in its 4th year. Looking at the pictures, it does look like, I'll show you one. It looks like there's crawls.
Yeah, it looks like there's crawls, a slide, ditches full of mud. So this does look a little bit of a crossover from the traditional, what I would call muddy dog run, where you're running through streams and things like that, and you are getting muddy. This does look a little bit more obstacle-y orientated.
Yeah, it doesn't look like, they used to put one on where Mud 7 was, wasn't there? Which was literally just a run with your dog.
Yeah, just muddy ditches and run with your dog. This is down in Nantwich in Cheshire. So it's down for you and me, but it'll be up for a lot of people, won't it?
Well, yeah, I think it's cross for you. Nantwich isn't that far from you.
Yeah. 23rd of April.
Yeah, and it's do you know what's even better about all this?
Yeah.
It's raising money for St. Luke's Cheshire Hospice, and I love hospices.
Oh, I wonder if Margot wants to go. My new bulldog. She's got more energy to burn, but she doesn't like other dogs, so maybe this wouldn't work.
You don't reckon it'll work?
Could she have a pre-run, do you think? A pre-run with no other dogs, and I think she'd love it.
Pre-run with no other dogs. Well, maybe. You never know. Do we know the prices by any chance? Because I'm trying to find them.
I don't know. Shall we have a look? I haven't even loaded it up, mate. I looked at it earlier on. I think there's a link to go to on the Facebook, isn't there? Yeah,
I think there is. Say some strange reason I just can't find it, and actually I don't even know when it is.
So I'm logging on to their Facebook now.
Yeah,
which is hospital, and it's telling me
it's Sunday, 23rd of April.
Sign up here. So I've got sign up here. £30 per dog, and humans are free.
Humans are free. Or you can get additional family members for 20 quid a piece.
Yes. So the first human's free.
And they're doing the £10 extra for a t-shirt, which I'm always a fan of.
I like that, paying extra for a t-shirt if you don't want it. So that's pretty good, £30 a person, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
over £30 a dog.
Yeah, so that is the 23rd of April. I think, sadly, I might be busy that week because I think it might be the Decker Mile that weekend, but I'm not sure.
And it's my 60 miler in Sheffield.
It's your 60 miler in Sheffield. Oh, no. Is it Decker? I'm not sure. I think something might be on that 23rd, but I'll have to check my my note. Oh, that's it. Conquer Fitness is on.
Oh, Conquer Fitness. I was going to say, if you had nothing on, you could come and get Margot and take care for the day.
No, sadly, no, I think Conquer Fitness is on. Ironically, just up the road.
Talking about other events before we go, a couple of things have come out today. Rumble Fitness have launched their time trial on 16th of April. So big day out there. And PT Ban, I got the email today, their UK European Training Day on the 29th of May. So I know you can go to all these gyms on a regular basis, but they've got special ones every now and then, and we'll give shout outs on the special ones.
So is that, I presume that is basically they will be focusing on things that you may see at those finals, so maybe more rig based?
Yeah, I think it's going to be very rig based. Scotty down there has a great setup on the rigs and that. So yeah, I think he's going to be, he knows people who've been over to Euros. He'll be using their knowledge, setting up something there, helping people prepare. You know, did you listen to Jack Carpenter this week on Multisports Media? He talked about when he went over to Rumageddon. So he spoke to me a little bit, but he speaks to Luke a little bit more and was saying how tough it is on them rigs out there. So yeah, they'll have some special things going off. Yeah,
it's actually interesting, isn't it, that comparison between the UK, the European, and the American OCR.
Yeah, the three really completely different entities, aren't they? You know, the Europeans are going so rig heavy, so upper body strength wise. Here in the UK, which I guess we're trying to balance it, and America is literally racing. It's all about racing. America, you know, well, that's what I see anyway when I watch it.
And carrying heavy stuff.
Yeah.
One final thing, Alan. This was on OCR Buddy. Is Nuts 4x4 on this year?
I haven't seen it.
Because I'm sure. Google. Yeah, I just tried Googling it. It brought up the old one. But I'm sure when I was going through. Yeah, so on OCR Buddy, it says on the 22nd of April, so the day before the doggy event, it says 4x4 Nuts.
Now, I know a little bit about OCR Buddy, that it does carry over events from one year to the next.
Okay.
it might be a carryover. It might be a little glitch because I think they've stopped doing it, or they tried to stop doing it. But it might be a glitch because I know Overload carried over for 1 or 2 years, but it were on the dates they put it on, so to miss the dates that we put it on.
Okay,
So,
I guess that makes sense. Let me just check their Facebook if that's okay. Oh, wait a minute. Just checking on notes. Next up, 4x4 notes.
all right.
So teams of 4 to 6 people. So yeah, it is. I want to say, is it £40? Oh yeah, it's £40 a team member.
Right.
Or it
it's
is
not
35
on their website. Because I looked on their website just now. It's not on the website.
If you're interested, anyone, guys, and we talked about races stacking up at the start of this program, didn't we? It looks like the 23rd and 24th is a busy time as well. But before notes, go on the Nuts Challenge Facebook page. It is there. It was put up 1 day ago as I'm reading this. Depending when you're listening to it, you might have to scroll back. But it's Saturday 22nd. And yeah, it's more of a team building, isn't it? It's not an OCR. It's more of they'll set you challenges.
Yes. I've seen a couple of races, by the way, up in Scotland that are set challenges. One of them I was going to put on our notes, but then I looked at the price and it was like £8,000. And I thought, I'm not going to talk about an £8,000 race on our OCR chat.
No, I think, yeah, no. But you could win the Spartan Series in America and not have enough money.
Exactly. You did get to ride in a train, though, for part of it.
That's how we should all. Actually, Alan, while I've got it, we have got. Now I know why we're doing it on the Saturday.
Why they're doing it on the Saturday?
On the 23rd, it's the age group 3K.
Oh, trials. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So you can go and have fun at the 4x4, which I will say, it looks fun. I've never done it, but it looks fun. It's a 5K obstacle race plus other challenges.
Yeah. And then on the Sunday, you can do the 3K time trial race.
Exactly. And while we're on nuts, Alan, I know we're about to wrap it up, but also shout out that the colour challenge is Saturday 20th of May, which I think might be the week of... is
the
it
race that shall not be mentioned?
Yeah, it's a week that shall not be mentioned. And then Summer Nuts is Saturday 2nd and Sunday 3rd of September.
Yes. Quick plug for the race that shall not be mentioned. There's some quality runners going. Sean Merriweather's going.
I was going to say, Alan, I haven't signed up yet.
James Burton's going.
Oh, you said quality runners, not
quality
runners.
Not quantity. Quality. We're going to have a race. We're going to have a serious race on the 48-hour. Sean Merriweather, who was also signed up for a Backyard Ultra as well, coming up.
Yeah, I think he signed up for the Suffolk one that Nolan did that time, I think.
Yes, the one where the world record was held up for a period of time, wasn't it?
For about 3 weeks.
For about 3 weeks.
That was a weird time, wasn't it, when the record just kept being beaten?
Yeah. I spoke to Sean and said to him, I said, are you gonna run slow and steady, or are you going to go out and blast it? And he's told me snail's pace is the key.
So I can pace him.
So you can pace him, Ian. You could pace him.
Awesome. Right. And on that note, Alan, let's wrap it up. I'm going to say, is there anything else?
I was going to ask you what you've got on your podcast next week.
Oh, you know what? I don't know yet. We've got one in the bag. We're recording another one. I'm not sure what order we're going to put them in. I'm going to make a decision based probably on pure chance, or more likely on how much editing you need to do. Either or. But yeah, I am not sure. It will be a High Rocks podcast next week. I can tell you that much.
Right. Oh, cool.
And it'll be an interview. It'll be an interview with High Rocks athletes.
Oh, I like it. Like it, Ian. Like it.
And you've said who's on yours.
Who's Scott?
Yeah, so not you.
Not me. Just who is Scott?
I think there's been a murder.
There's been a murder.
Okay.
Ian.
On that, I will say to listeners and to you, it's goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye from me, everyone. You take care. We love you all. Bye.